Maya was always running late. Every morning, she dashed down Maple Street, hair flying, one hand clutching her tote bag, the other scrolling through emails she shouldn't be reading while walking. The only moment she paused was at the corner cafe, Brewed Awakening. It was small, cozy, and smelled like heaven. She'd stop, order her usual oat milk latte, and sprint off again before it cooled. But this Monday, something was different. "Good morning. First time seeing you this early," said a warm voice. Maya looked up. Behind the counter was a new barista, tall, with kind eyes and a calm smile that somehow slowed the chaos around her. His name tag read Arjun. "Yeah, I'm usually late," she said, tapping her phone. "Oat milk latte, no sugar." "Coming right up," he said cheerfully. "Though, you look like you could use something sweet today." She frowned playfully. "You calling me grumpy?" "Not at all," he said, grin widening. "Just observant." Minutes later, she took a sip, and stopped. "This isn't oat milk." He looked mortified. "Oh no, I must have grabbed the wrong." She laughed. "Relax, it's fine. I actually like it." Their eyes met for just a second longer than strangers should. Then she was gone, disappearing into the morning rush with a smile she couldn't quite explain. Days turned into weeks, and mornings at Brewed Awakening became the calmest part of Maya's day. Arjun was always there, calm, steady, with that same smile that could melt the tension in her shoulders. They started talking, not just the usual, "how's your day" kind of talk, but the kind that lingers in your mind long after. He told her he used to work in finance, managing accounts and deadlines that paid well but drained him dry. "One day I realized," he said, pouring milk with practiced grace, "I spent more time with spreadsheets than with people. Coffee's simpler. It connects strangers." Maya admired that, the courage to walk away from comfort to chase something meaningful. She confessed she was a designer, someone who made things look beautiful but felt her own life had lost its color. "You ever think beauty hides behind simplicity?" he asked once. She nodded slowly. "Like this cafe," she said. "Nothing fancy, but it feels like home." That made him blush, slightly, but she noticed. Their talks grew longer. Sometimes she'd come earlier just to sit by the window and watch him work. She told herself it was the peaceful vibe. But she knew better. It started raining one Friday afternoon, a sudden, heavy downpour that turned the streets silver. Maya had just finished a client meeting nearby and ran into Brewed Awakening to escape the storm. "You're early today," Arjun said, handing her a towel. "I think the universe wants me to stay a little longer," she laughed. "Then the universe has good taste," he replied softly. The cafe was quiet, only a few people scattered across tables. The rain played a rhythm outside, and for once, Maya didn't open her laptop. They talked for hours, about the small things, favorite songs, travel dreams, family quirks, and then about deeper things. Arjun told her he'd once been engaged, years ago. "We both wanted different things." She wanted a life that moved fast. "I wanted to slow down." Maya's chest tightened. "I get that," she said. "I've been running for years, but I don't even know what from anymore." He smiled gently. "Maybe you just haven't found what's worth stopping for." There was a silence, not awkward, but charged, like the air before lightning. Then the lights flickered. He laughed. "Maybe that's our cue," but neither of them moved. The next week, everything changed. Maya's manager called her in with news, a promotion. Senior designer, double the pay, but in Manchester. It was everything she'd worked for. Yet when she thought of leaving, she didn't feel excited. She felt empty. She avoided Brewed Awakening that week. She told herself she was busy packing, but deep down, she just didn't want to say goodbye. By Friday, she was still torn, until she found a note slipped into her mail slot. It was from Arjun. "Maya, I didn't want to say this over coffee. Sometimes, people pass through our lives and leave warmth behind, like the first sip of something you didn't know you needed. Whatever you choose, choose for yourself. But remember, some things are worth staying for. Arjun." Her hands trembled slightly as she folded the note. She didn't know whether to cry or smile. That night, she sat awake, watching the rain tap softly against her window, the same rhythm she remembered from that afternoon in the cafe. The morning of her move was bright and still. Her bags were packed, the taxi waiting. But her heart wasn't ready. She walked, not to the station, but toward Maple Street. Toward Brewed Awakening. The bell above the door chimed as she stepped inside. Arjun looked up, surprised, hopeful, and a little afraid. "I was hoping you'd come," he said quietly. She smiled. "I almost didn't. But then I realized, every good thing in my life lately has started here. He set down the cup he was holding. And maybe I'm done running, she said. If you'll have me. For a moment, neither spoke. Then he reached for her hand across the counter, warm, steady. I saved your usual, he said. Oat milk this time, no mistakes. She laughed, the sound breaking the morning quiet. They sat by the window, sipping coffee as sunlight spilled through the glass. Outside, the city moved fast as ever, but inside, time felt different. He looked at her and said, softly, you know, I once said coffee connects strangers. She smiled. Guess it can connect soulmates too. He flipped the sign on the door from open to closed. And for the first time in years, Maya didn't feel the rush of the world pressing in. Just warmth, laughter, and the slow, sweet rhythm of a love that had finally found its place.